Hello everybody. Today I'm taking a bike ride starting in Manchester, New Hampshire to Bedford, New Hampshire, as I'm going to be checking out the Old Bedford Cemetery that dates back to the 1700s. And the cemetery is full of Revolutionary War heroes. But before we get started, I want to go over my bike a little bit, as obviously this channel has a lot of cycling in it. And I'm sure some of you are wondering what type of bike I'm riding. But what I'm riding at the moment is a 2025 Esker Hayduke, as it says right there. And what this is it's a multi-purpose bike. Its primary function is for bike packing, but it kind of does everything. It's good for cross-country mountain biking, gravel riding, pavement. It basically does everything. It doesn't have really aggressive geometry, as its only real weakness is for mountain biking when you're going down steep hills. I have multiple setups for it, as today I'm going to be riding mostly pavement, as I have a set of cheap race face wheels. They're cheap, but they're still, they're decent wheels, and I put these Maxxis grifter tires on them. These are a 2.5 inch tire. So they're wide and they have a lot of air volume, which I like, as it really smooths out your ride. And I also removed my dropper post, and I put on this titanium seat post that I got on Amazon for, I believe it was $80, which is a steal. And it's really good quality. There's nothing wrong with it. If I were to buy a name brand, made in America, titanium seat post, that thing would be about $200. And I also took I have a RockShox Sid that I use for obviously off-roading, and I'll use it for if I have any gravel rides where the gravel's kind of rocky. I'll use my shock. But I got this Niner carbon fiber rigid fork about a month ago. They had a sale that was 50% off, as I could not resist that deal. My brakes are previous generation Hope brakes. They're just the X2s. They're double piston. I got a really good deal on them on eBay because they're obviously outdated. They were new old stock. I think I paid $200 for the front and rear, which is a really good deal. The same with the Hope stem. It's a previous generation. I paid $60 for that on eBay, new old stock. Unfortunately, my handlebars were not cheap. These are titanium Carver. I believe they're called early risers. Those were not cheap, but they really weren't that expensive, and they're well worth it. I also have two other styles of handlebars. I have a 35mm rise and a flat bar, but the only problem with swapping in between bars is you get to deal with these cables, which I honestly still have to trim as they're too long. But ultimately I decided to stick with these handlebars, as they're very comfortable, as I like to be upright. And when I'm mountain biking, because this bike is not designed for, really bomb down hills, having the front end a little higher really helps with that. What else? These cranks, they look really beautiful, but they're knockoffs. These are not the 5 dev cranks that sell for $500, which I would never spend on an aluminum crank, as that's a complete and total waste of money. But 5 dev screwed up on their patent rights, and there was a Chinese company called EvoSid that completely copied them. It's a carbon copy. They are forged aluminum, and I've had no issues with them. I probably put about 3,000 miles on them. But the chain ring is titanium, and it is a 5 dev chain ring, and it lined up perfectly. That I also got on eBay for, I believe, $75, and I believe that's a $200 chain ring if you were to buy it outright. As somebody bought it, and for whatever reason they didn't like it. My drivetrain is just a 12-speed SRAM Eagle GX. That I did not get on sale, as those never go on sale, and if they do, it's usually like just 10% off. Sorry about that, my camera shut off for some reason. But yeah, I'm slowly getting rid of all these orange bits. I only have my pedals, which are just cheap Amazon pedals anyway. No love lost there. But I'm waiting for this bottom piece to get back in stock, as they do not have any silver ones at the moment. So it's going to be just silver, blue, and black. That's the colors I want, as the orange look cool, but it's It's just too much. I'm very picky with colors. But anyway, let's head over to Bedford. I'm going to keep the chatter down as this is mainly a POV channel. It's also very windy today, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. Just got to make sure my GPS coordinates are on, as I'm going to be taking some back roads to get there. And we're currently on the west side of Manchester. Sorry, my camera keeps shutting off for some reason. I think I have to reformat my SD card.
Turn left onto Glen Road. In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Blueberry Lane. Right onto Oak Drive. In 600 feet, turn right onto Newton House Road.
And we're just about there, folks. And if you're interested, I will be posting a separate video of the POV tour of this really old cemetery that's really neat to see. It's kind of hidden, but it is public and you are allowed to visit it. I'm just not sure where you would park if you were to drive here. What did that green marker say? 1736? And if you made it this far, and if you enjoyed my point of view content, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.